Hey, so this is our up-close look at the new Google Pixel 2. It's the smaller of the two smartphones that Google announced today, and it is, I would say, a little less exciting. That's not because of what's inside. Again, we have a 12.2 megapixel camera that is optimized to work with Google's machine learning technology, a fingerprint sensor around the back, USB Type-C. This is an aluminum hybrid build, although you'd never really be able to tell because it does, for the life of it, feel just like a really sturdy polycarbonate with a glass window up top for your wireless connections to power through. But on the front, we sort of understand why this is the smaller, less expensive, and maybe less exciting Pixel. So this is a 5-inch cinematic HD display, but it obviously is not curved, and it just does stop at the top and the bottom, just like our traditional smartphone does. So none of that beautiful edge-to-edge stuff, none of those curved edges that you would find on the Google Pixel 2 XL. But we do have an incredibly fast device. There's a Qualcomm Snapdragon 835 chipset here. I haven't played around with it too much, but in most of the apps that I fired up, things do run very, very quickly. Running in and out of apps does run incredibly quickly too. This is a device with 4 gigabytes of RAM and either 64 or 128 gigabytes of storage. There is no memory card slot, but there is, as you notice, a SIM slot, which is interesting because this is, as I've mentioned, for the Pixel 2 XL, an eSIM compatible device. So if you have Project Fi, or I'm hearing potentially even T-Mobile down the road, you will be able to activate both of those services with the eSIM and really never have to worry about that SIM card slot again. That said, all devices have the eSIM and the SIM slot, so if you're traveling, it's pretty easy to pop open that slot, throw SIM in, and just sort of have a good time with it. I have been playing with the camera a little bit more, which is actually very, very interesting. So this, as mentioned, is a 12 megapixel camera, and you know me, I'm not a great photographer, and you know how these things work. These are generally really, really sketchy situations, but that took incredibly quickly. The processing finishes momentarily, and we get an incredibly crisp, incredibly nicely saturated picture here. I'd say this has done a very good job of taking a scene that's relatively dark over there in the corner and turning it into something that's actually both bright and vivid without being particularly lurid. You also notice right down here, that's the icon for Google Lens, which will roll out to Pixel 2 and Pixel customers fairly soon. It doesn't notice anything, and it can identify in that photo. But let's actually really quickly try this again. Jump out into that camera. There's an Apple Watch. Quick snap of that. As far as, by the way, just off-the-cuff shots go, this looks really surprisingly good. So let's see if Google Lens can figure that out. I'm not positive that it will, but it does. It does identify this as an Apple Watch. It doesn't get the series right, but there's really no way for it to know that unless it saw the dot on the side. That worked remarkably quickly, and I got to tell you, it works more accurately than Bixby Vision does on the Galaxy S8. So what's interesting about the Pixel 2 is that it is a high-quality device. It is an incredibly fast one with this completely modern and incredibly snappy Snapdragon chipset. It's small, it feels very comfortable in your hand. Google didn't talk about this too much in the event proper, but this is fully IP67, I believe, water and dust resistant, so for once you don't have to worry about dropping your Google phone into the ocean that is so lovingly rendered on this screen. Couple quick updates to the Pixel launcher. You have your sort of at-a-glance settings up here, which has a widget at the top of the screen that shows you, among other things, your calendar events, flight information, and traffic. They've moved the Google search bar to the bottom. You have your new your Android Oreo launcher, which again does run very, very smoothly on this device. This is an impressive little machine. It is not the most expensive device out there, which I think works really nicely in Google's favor. But here's the important part. This hardware is excellent, but more important is the incredible power inherent to Android Oreo, and more importantly, Google's machine learning technology that's basically baked into the fabric of this device. So we're going to take a little bit more time to play with this. This has been our first look at the Google Pixel 2. Stay tuned for more.